The exchange of strikes marked one of the most direct and severe confrontations between the two nations in modern history. The causes behind the conflict are complex and interconnected. A central issue has been Iran's nuclear program. Israel considers a nuclear-armed Iran an existential threat, while Iran insists its nuclear activities are for peaceful energy purposes. Diplomatic efforts such as the 2015 nuclear agreement temporarily reduced tensions, but the collapse of that deal led to renewed mistrust and accusations. Alongside the nuclear issue, Iran's support for armed groups in Lebanon, Syria, and elsewhere has been a continuous source of friction. Israel has conducted operations against Iranian-linked targets in Syria for years, arguing that it seeks to prevent advanced weapons from reaching hostile groups near its borders. The humanitarian consequences of the conflict have been significant. Civilian infrastructure, including residential areas and public facilities, has suffered damage. Hospitals in affected regions have faced pressure due to high numbers of wounded individuals. Displacement of families, psychological trauma, and economic disruption have added to the suffering on both sides. Markets reacted sharply during periods of escalation, with oil prices fluctuating due to fears of supply disruption in the Middle East. Regional airspace closures and shipping concerns also affected international trade routes. Globally, the conflict has drawn mixed reactions. Some governments have called for immediate ceasefires and diplomatic solutions, warning that continued escalation could destabilize the entire region. Others have expressed support for their strategic allies while urging restraint. Analysts caution that further escalation could involve proxy forces in neighboring countries, increasing the risk of a broader regional war. The strategic location of both countries, especially near vital energy corridors, means that prolonged fighting could have lasting global economic consequences. Despite the intensity of the conflict, experts emphasize that long-term stability can only be achieved through diplomatic engagement and negotiated security arrangements. Deep mistrust, ideological differences, and security fears remain major obstacles to peace. However, history shows that even long-standing adversaries can eventually move toward dialogue when the costs of war outweigh perceived benefits. As of early March 2026, the situation remains volatile, with casualty numbers expected to change as more information becomes available. The Iran-Israel conflict continues to shape regional security, influence global politics, and affect millions of lives both directly and indirectly.